Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I'll be talking about the Jets receiving some interest from other teams in Sam Darnold. Before we get started today, I just want to mention you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the podcast, and link to the merch store is down in the description below. Okay, so to no surprise, the Jets are receiving some interest in Sam Darnold. They have received some calls according to U Stadium. They've contacted the Jets in words of Sam Darnold, and this is the process that's going to begin to take place. Teams are doing their due diligence, and I hate to be I don't know if it's bearer of bad news or just boring guy right now, but this doesn't necessarily mean anything just yet. What we are seeing is the Jets and other teams testing the waters. They are seeing what it would take to trade for Sam Darnold. By no means do I think that this is anything written in stone, that this guarantees that Sam Darnold is going to be traded, or this guarantees that he's going to be moved soon. I don't necessarily buy that. This is just, I really truly believe that it's just people checking in to see what the market's like. For example, we just saw this with Matthew Stafford. Supposedly the Jets checked in with the Detroit Lions to see what it would cost to get Matthew Stafford. And do I think the Jets were really interested in trading for Stafford? No, absolutely not. I don't think it makes sense for them, but it's just them seeing what the market's like. Let's make the comparison to, let's say you're buying a car. So the Jets might be interested in buying a car, which Deshaun Watson will be that in this instance. And they're also looking to potentially sell a car, Sam Darnold. So you're going to another car on the market and just kicking the tires, essentially seeing what it would take to put yourself in that vehicle. You're not just going to go, hey, I have this asset, Sam Darnold, or the car you're trying to sell in this instance, and just going to name my price and not get any other context. That's really the main key here, is that the Jets are getting context for what it would take to acquire Matt Stafford, what maybe that means for them in trying to move Sam Darnold, what maybe that means for them in trying to acquire Deshaun Watson. So they're just testing the waters, which is the right thing to do, which is Joe Douglas's strength, to be completely honest with you. At the trade deadline in the 2019 season, there were rumors that the Jets were shopping, quote unquote, shopping Jamal Adams. And that's, to me, when things really began to go off the rails with Jamal. And realistically, I don't think he was shopping. He just answered the phone. The Cowboys called, he answered, they talked. Obviously, at that point, they weren't comfortable moving Jamal Adams. He got insanely butthurt over that. But that's what you have to do as a general manager. You take those calls and you make those calls just to keep your finger on the pulse of what the market is. And we have no idea who the teams were that called. You could probably make our guesses, and I'll make my predictions right now. What fits could it be for Sam Darnold, or where could I see him going? The Colts seems to make a lot of sense. The 49ers could make a lot of sense. The Saints and Steelers, depending on it, moving away from older quarterbacks. The Bears could make sense. Maybe the Texans in a trade. I would be surprised, though, because I think especially if you're trading with the Jets, that they are going to try to get the number 2 pick for Deshaun Watson and take their own guy that way. But, teams are going to begin to call and see what it would take to get Sam Darnold. And Joe Douglas is going to gauge the waters and see what it's like, or what teams are willing to give up. And that's how this stuff starts. So we're at the very beginning stages here. We're at the very early stages. And this means nothing in the long term, because we have no idea what's going to actually happen. Do I think something's going to happen very soon? I would say absolutely not. I think it's going to happen either at the draft. If they're drafting quarterback, it'll happen like this. They will draft their guy at 2 and then flip Sam Darnold. If they're trading for Deshaun Watson, then they will, do whatever trade that's going to happen between now and March or April, and then probably trade Sam Darnold somewhere else to recoup some picks. Or if they're sticking with Sam Darnold, obviously there's not going to be a trade that takes place, but this is going to be a story for months and months and months. It's not something that's necessarily going to happen today. So I don't think you have to get worried. I don't think this says really anything one way or the other with the direction that the Jets are going. So it's very much so a wait and see kind of approach from the fans' perspective. Is that boring? Yes, but I think we have to look at this, logically, and take off the green colored glasses for a second and just say, this is a general manager and this is a team who is doing their due diligence on the market. It's as simple as that. That's pretty much it. I believe the U Stadium report. I don't think they're making this up. I don't think this is just, oh yeah, there's interest in Sam Darnold, no duh, but it's the beginning stages. So we're still very early in this, means nothing right now. We'll see how as it progresses as time goes on. Let me know in the comments what you think. Should the Jets keep Sam Darnold? Should they trade him? Let me know. Or on social media, make sure to subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.
Wow.